Welcome back to the home of all things ballroom dance. Today's topic, who has the political power in the world of ballroom dance? And I'm going to do a deep dive here. Let's jump into it because I have a lot to cover. So firstly, there is a little bit of a misconception that organizing bodies, or even a singular organizing body in the world, especially of dance sport, kind of runs the show behind the scenes. And so that could look like the World Dance Council, the National Dance Council of America, the IDSF, USA Dance, WDS. There's many organizations kind of in charge of different areas, and sometimes kind of overlapping areas where they vie a little bit for power in the world of dance, and especially dance sport. Okay. But power is a lot more complicated than that. There are many spheres of power, many groups that hold great influence in terms of how ballroom dance is run in the United States, at least where I'm broadcasting from, especially in the world of dance sport. Not so much in the individual dancer's life or the social dancer's life. Certainly, these things really don't affect them at all. But most of our friends here on this channel are competitors or kind of dancing at that level. So if that's you, this is your jam today. First of all, very complicated, so I have taken the time to create a Venn diagram to hopefully spell this out for you, make a little more sense. So forgive me here, it's a little amateurish. I tried to do like a picture-in-picture, and it just didn't let me interact as much as I would like and show it as clearly to describe everything I'm talking about today. Okay, so as we can see, we have different spheres of power, and all of them hold power in a different way, and there's overlapping power as well. So we have judges, we have teachers, we have the governing boards that I addressed initially. We have the comp organizers. We have the students, we have the studio owners, and these all hold the reins of power in a different way. And let's jump into that. Okay, so first of all, we have the comp organizers. How do they exert influence? Well, as you can see, they're the ones that hire the judges. That's who's giving you the marks. And as I've shared in previous videos, your marks in competition can vary quite a bit based on who is on the judging panel that day. Okay. So we also have the comp organizers and the judges kind of influencing power over the comp organizers. Honestly, I've had many friends that run competitions, and it is not always easy to bring in your judging panel. It might sound like a great job. Honestly, not a lot of people want to do it for a variety of reasons. And so if they can't bring in and solicit an ideal judging panel that's safe from around the country, that has is significantly, it's well known enough that they're going to be reputable, people that they're hoping will bring in a big clientele with them to bring in a number of entries at that comp. Well, the judges kind of hold power over those comp organizers too. And if you can see that little overlap there. We also have a significant amount of overlap between the judges, the comp organizers, and those national governing organizations. The competition organizers, if you want to have like a really big comp, you must have an NDCA sanction. You have to pay the NDCA to get that sanction, so they kind of endorse your comp. You can be part of this National Annual Scholarship Series. There are limitations within the NDCA rules that prohibit them from judging certain events run by other certain organizations that they feel have a conflicting interest in power. So those organizations can withdraw your NDCA sanction on your comp, even though you're paying for it each year. It's like $2,000. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I can't remember the exact amount. And how that works is to kind of minimize competition between the competitions. So they don't want like 10 competitions in LA in one weekend. Then everyone loses money. So they give one sanctioned comp per coast per weekend, which I see is a legitimate thing. I want to show up to a comp and compete against someone. You know, I think we've all been to that comp where we end up like alone on an uncontested floor in an empty ballroom. Hard pass. So I do understand. I think there's a benefit to that. But it does give the NDCA a significant amount of power, because if you lose their sanction, then you lose the ability to hire many of those judges and all their students that might come with them, and kind of the political pull of being part of that National Scholarship Series called the World Dance Sport Series, I think. So it's all sorts of complicated and goes both ways, okay? Likewise, the NDCA kind of sanctions who can judge, or who can hold the comp, but who can judge. So they can take that privilege away from you if you abuse it. And they do have rules for the judges, which in my opinion, all the rules are legit and fair. I think they're in place for very good reason. For example, they won't let you as a judge show up to a comp and the morning of the comp, coach a couple there that you're going to be judging. That would create a kind of a financial bias. So totally fair. And so I do understand the reasons those rules are in place, but it does give them definitely an amount of power, because if you lose that kind of certification, you can't judge. Not that that'd be a problem for many people, but for the people that they want to do that, there's a lot of retired pros that really can't necessarily dance as much, or pros that for whatever reason have difficulty cultivating clientele. Well, they really kind of rely on that as an income. So they are very beholden, okay, to those governing bodies, okay? And so I don't know if you can see kind of all those spheres of power kind of overlap, and likewise, you have the teachers that are also judges, and they're part of the NDCA and part of the voting, who actually is on the board. And so it's not like the world of dance is a dictatorship with one wizard behind the curtain controlling all of the levers, okay? There was many wizards behind many curtains, pulling many strings. It's quite complex, okay? Okay, so we also have our teachers, who I mentioned, okay? Now, as you can see, their sphere of influence, so to speak, goes over the students and the judges, because those teachers are going to refer students to the judges, and those judges might, as I've shared, some personal stories with you, might even solicit those teachers to send students to them implicitly in trade for marks in the competition. And if the teacher students do well in the comp, then they want to go back to that comp with those same judges. And oh my gosh, guys, all sorts of ugly. I'm not saying every single dancer is like this, okay? Most of us are totally not corrupt and, are as much victims of the politics as the student is. But, and competing is joyful. It's helpful in your dancing. highly encourage it, but I do want to be honest. If you go to a comp and get an unexpected result, there may be something going on deep under the water. There's a huge iceberg that you might not be aware of. And so don't let that, dishearten you. And you know what? You're not the only person to suffer from, political ramifications. These things happen. You know what? Dust yourself off, move on to the next week. You'll still be a better dancer in the end. Okay, guys? Holy moly cannoli. I have so many things I want to cover in terms of the politics. Because it's fascinating, in my opinion. And once again, I have gone over that 10-minute mark. So rest assured, I'm going to be back with some major follow-up on this. Because I think you might find it to be interesting, maybe helpful. Also, when I'm making these videos, I could probably write an entire book on every topic I talk about. And I am doing my best to consolidate it in like a little 10-minute nutshell. It's darn near impossible, really. So I do have a lot of, pro friends on here. And hey, guys, please comment with your separate individual experiences. Feel free, if you disagree with something I'm saying, to share that. I don't delete comments. I'm just one person in a world of ballroom dancers. I think we will share a lot of the same experiences. And I love when I hear that from you too. It feels like, oh, that's reassuring. Because I always worry having a YouTube channel, like someone's going to be upset that I share something and say, oh, that's a lie. And you've all been very kind in your comments and supportive in the things that I share, because there's always a little risk involved. But anyway, I'm going to be back with more on this hot topic. Thank you so much for joining me today. And for your kind words. If you're interested in hearing more about the world of ballroom dance, I share videos daily. So please hit that subscribe button. And when you guys comment, when you press that like button, it definitely inspires me to post more, because I'm not paid to do this. And Mama's busy. So if you're not enjoying it, I'm not going to waste my time. So anyway, guys, I'd love to hear your opinions, and I'm going to share some more of my opinions with you as well tomorrow. I might not hit this exact topic tomorrow because you guys seem to enjoy when I mix it up a little bit. But we will follow up on this. So hope that's been interesting. Have an awesome day. Happy dancing.